welcome to the Green Hour, WURD at 96.1 FM and also 900 AM on the weekend, sponsored by Celia. I'm your host, Dr. Paul Hopkins. We're here every Sunday from 3 to 4 p.m. You can also find us online at www.wurdradio.com and in the community. My co-host is Health Advocate Bill Morgan. Bill, you there?
You got it, buddy.
And each week we bring clarity to the conversation about health and environment. We encourage clean living from the inside out. A centerpiece of this is maintaining a healthy lifestyle and getting informed about the connection between good health and what is happening in the world around you. It includes what you consume, what you wear, what products you use on your body, how you clean your home, what you drive, what you purchase, and the decision you make every day. On the Green Hour, we will focus on the environment as a key part of our social integrity, and on the Green Hour, we will focus on how the people and the planet are one. Without further ado, welcome, family!
Yeah.
Mike Moore
in the house.
What up, Big Mike?
What
Mike
up, man?
and Bill 1L Morgan. How you doing?
Welcome back, 1L.
Vacay, and he better have taken that vacay.
He's look like he got a little color on him.
Wow.
He got a little.
He got a little melanin.
Hey, you better watch yourself, boy. Watch it, man.
He was in the sun. He was in the sun, grabbing and holding on to a tree somewhere.
Look, man. Look, let me tell you something. Hey, see, you joking, but let me tell you. Even one of my students said to me the other day, Dr. Moore, he said, I was out there and they were doing something, I guess, around the school ground, and he said, I could see your face, Mr. Morgan. I said, what are you doing? He said, it just hit me real crazy. I was near this tree because I was all stressed out. I couldn't sleep. And I said, I'm going to go hug a tree. He said, can you believe? I actually calmed down. I said, shut up.
Yep, there you go. Ground yourself, family. And
Yeah,
people, you know what? When we did that show,
yeah,
I tell you, I got more people calling up saying, you know what? I was running and I was anxious and I felt this unbalance. And then I went out to a park. I took my shoes off, grounded myself. And then when I found a tree, sat under the tree, ground your feet. And people say they slept like babies that same night. I'm telling you, it's all about, we are bioelectrical beings. So what you do is just ground yourself. Sometimes you got to reset. Like when you ever see on the power strip, and you ever see the power strip, sometimes if you plug too many things in, it's got a safety that bam, it does that. And it's got a little button on the side called a what? It's called a reset.
That's right.
Same thing happens to you, families.
The principle is the same.
You're going to have to reset yourself. Sometimes your polarity is moving either too fast or too slow.
Yes.
That's what we call the voltage regulator, regulated by this thing called the thyroid. The thyroid is the voltage regulator.
Yes.
That's what regulates weight, temperature, pressure, in the body, but also that's your endocrine system.
Yes.
That's all based on the pineal, the hypothalamus, the pituitary, all the way down to the thyroid, parathyroid, all the way down to the adrenals, the pancreas, and down to the sex organs. That's part of that serpentine fire, that earth, wind, and fire said.
Boy, you gotta watch out now. Watch out. Lord, don't get happy here now. Yeah, but you know what? Look, sometimes that may sound a little difficult, but the family, if you just back up 10 yards and just listen very carefully to what Dr. Paul's saying. You know what? Look, don't trust me. Go back and check the literature. Dr. Paul never says anything that he does not give you fact to deal with. Just check on that.
Off of, and this is not our science. This is universal principles. It's energy. You are a bioelectrical being.
Indeed.
The same energy that flows through the earth is flowing through you. So when you actually have to reset, sometimes you got to reset. You got to, things in life can throw you out of tune. And that's like you ever had a piano that was out of tune? Ding, ding, ding.
Yes.
Got to get it tuned up because the life itself, vibrations, energy, waves, frequency, those things, tension, humidity, atmosphere, things change and it gives a different tension on those strings. So now you get out of tune, so you need somebody to tune you back up. That's what the earth does.
Yes.
Tune. So that's all. I'm sure I'm going to get some more calls this week. People say, I've been hugging the tree this week.
Yes, but what a great thing that happens to your body. You're going to begin to realize the things that happen to you when you begin to get in tune with it that will blow your mind.
Yeah, and the most important thing, let me tell you one more. What's the most important thing? It's free.
Well, free. Look, that's my middle name, right? If it's free, it's from me. Shut the front door.
Bill Free Morgan.
Yeah, buddy. Yes, sir.
Okay, so what is going on in the world, family? I mean, Bill, I want to, open up the lines today early. I want to hear what the family's talking about. I do have some things I want to talk about in my concerns, and if it becomes more of an editorial piece for me today of anything of what I take on this whole issue about removing the mask, that is becoming the number one thing right now because, Bill, when they're talking about removing the mask, it's really triggered a lot of response amongst all people across the board because people are like, wait a minute. Even states and governments are saying, wait a minute. Well, why didn't you give us a heads up on this? You just sort of flipped the script in literally 72 hours.
Yeah.
And now people are like sort of caught off guard, including states and, local governments on what do we do with this, because wait a minute, you just told us to, 72 hours ago, you said double the mask up. Now you're saying take it off. What's going on? What do we do? Do you do this? Do you do that? So people are very mixed messages right now. So, we always say on the Green Hour, what? Build your immune system.
Build your immune system. Yes.
All the confusion and things come down to it. It's all based on what you're eating, how you're exercising. Are you getting sleep? Are you doing things like resetting your body?
Yes.
So all of these things, we want to be mindful of. But we have some articles I want to build. I threw a couple of them across your table.
I got them. I saw them. Yep.
Got them. And
yes, sir.
After that, I want to go into, the official COVID numbers. So
right.
You could grab probably the first one. I believe the first one was going on, and this is my number one concern. When you're talking about the mixed messages right now, just looking at some of the stats, 120 million people considered vaccinated. Not fully vaccinated would be about 53%. Declining vaccination totally is 25%. That's 78% of people that are wide open.
Yes,
right?
Indeed. Yes, indeed.
We're looking at their data, right? This data. Still, you're talking about in the United States about a rate of about 34,000 new cases diagnosed daily.
Yes.
That's what's going on now.
That's a whole lot of people, Dr. Paul. A lot
of people, man. 34,000 new cases daily, and that's from our website that we go to. Why now? How does this impact the schools? What is the businesses and the local government supposed to do with this? How can
yes.
do this? Yes. So the decisions for this really kind of threw people in a sort of a tailspin. So Big B, read that first article on which
states
still requiring masks after the CDC updated guidance.
Okay, here we go, guys. It says this, beginning from the first paragraph. Several states and the string of local leaders are holding off on changing their mask mandates following the Centers for Disease Control's prevention new guidance that allows fully vaccinated Americans to go without masks indoors or outdoors. Now, a growing number of states, hear me now, friends, including Connecticut, Illinois, Kentucky, Nevada, Oregon, Pennsylvania, and Washington State said they would change their rules to follow the agency's new guidelines hours after it was announced. Now, however, Hawaii and Massachusetts announced that for now, they plan to keep their mask mandates in place. Over a dozen other states and jurisdictions have yet to announce their plans. So local leaders in Massachusetts, New York, New Jersey, California, Washington, D.C., which are all led by Democrats, said Thursday they'd take the new CDC guidance under advisement before adopting. And then it goes on, which states that choose to follow CDC guidelines will keep their mask mandates in place for unvaccinated individuals remain unclear. So if you if you are fully vaccinated, you can start doing the things that you had stopped doing before of the pandemic, because of the pandemic. Now, the CDC Director Rochelle Walensky said at the White House, that was on Thursday, They said CDC locals must continue to abide by existing state and local regulations and business rules. So the question is, what do we do?
Yeah, exactly. Because you know, she came on. We're talking about the CDC director, Rochelle Walensky. See, on Tuesday, she came out and said that the reason why they're keeping the mandate. She was questioned on Tuesday, by the way. Tuesday, she was, and she said a third of our counties have 100 cases per 100,000. She said that's too high. Yes. So there's no way we can start to release this. Then 72 hours later, she says, "Oh, well, we're releasing the guidelines now." So now, no state is above 50% of their own numbers vaccinated. So where are you coming with these numbers? So that's where the concerns are. Now, the states that you're seeing here that are literally saying they're moving forward. We here in Pennsylvania, they are going to move forward with this new mandate. So I don't know how y'all feel, family. I would love to hear from your point of view. Overall, period. I think that we have to take precaution on that anyway. Because of what else is going on around the world, and I'm going to tap into that in a few seconds. But did you know that 10%, they're looking at right now 10 to 15%, and I'm going to look at just what they said in, I think it was Jersey. Let me see. Local leaders, New Jersey. I think it was Jersey. Was Jersey a part of the ones that said they're going to hold back, right? Jersey and New York, right? And because Jersey and New York are really watching out, Big B, they watching out for this double mutant. Yeah, they're calling this thing the double mutant that's in India right now. Yes. What's happening in India right now is very, very concerning, y'all. And that's what I've been saying for the last couple of weeks. I said, how is it that you're ignoring this? Even the UK is already saying that this is going to be the dominant. They're already saying this. They're already saying this. And so read that article on the India pandemic right now.
Okay, let me find that one here. That's here we go.
Look for that. The India.
Okay, I got you.
Got it?
Yep. Okay. The coronavirus variant from India appears to be spreading in the United States. Okay, here we go. The coronavirus variant first spotted in India appears to be spreading in the U.S., which is worrisome because this variant appears to be more contagious and better at evading the immune system. Hear that now. Okay? Audi Cornish, who's the host, said the coronavirus variant first spotted in India appears to be spreading in the United States, and that's worrisome because the variant appears to be highly contagious and better evading the human immune system. Now, the NPR health correspondent Rob Stein is here to talk more about this whole thing. And Rob was asking, well, he says, thanks, that's nice to hear. But this is sort of like an interview done with Cornish, right? Thanks, nice that this from Rob Stein says, thanks, nice to hear. Then Cornish says, remind us exactly which variant this is. So Stein says, yeah, so the one we're talking about is called B1617. Okay, write that number down, B1617. And like you said, it was first spotted in India, and it's sometimes called a double mutant because it's got two mutations that scientists have been concerned about because they may make the virus more of a threat.
Right there.
We've all seen how bad things are right now in India. So it's unclear how much of that is because of this variant, but this variant may be playing a role.
Yes, then you can stop right there because it's a long article.
Right, it is.
But this is the NPR just came out a couple of hours ago. This was actually a couple of hours ago it came out, and they reported actually the number. If you want to look for the actual India variant, it's called B1617.
That's right.
Yeah, that's B1.617.2. That's the one that's there, and they're calling it a double mutant, and it's killed more than 270,000 people in India overall. Family. You got to realize, whenever you start to see this happening anywhere, it's a threat everywhere. Yes. So that's what the concern is, even in Europe right now. They're saying, wait a minute, we got to back off this because they're looking at right now, India for the last week is averaging somewhere, 4,000 cases, 4,000 deaths.
Yes.
A day. You hear me? 4,000 deaths a day. They're closing in those numbers every day in India. And that's just been in the last 24 hours, you know, and also they're getting it almost on a regular day. Every day, they're getting close to those numbers of deaths in those areas. So this Indian variant in the UK, even the UK is starting to back up on this. They're starting to say, we gotta watch this one, because one of the main health officials, the health secretary, I think his name is Matt Hancock, I think it is. He said, you know, wait a minute, we got to watch this. This is going to be quite likely, it's going to become the dominant variant. Again, just like it was when it first hit earlier. We remember what we watched before that hit us hard was the UK variant. Now, if this goes in the UK and now the UK comes over here, we got issues, y'all. We got issues. Yes. So they also, the last thing they said in the UK, I think it was something like it's everywhere. They asked them, they said, well, what do you really think about this new variant? They said, well, it's everywhere. To be honest, it's everywhere. So, you know, my concern is when you start to pull now back the mask here in the U.S., are we opening ourselves up for probably the largest impact of the pandemic, you know, which means that it's always growing, it's always mutating, it's always increasing. Now it's, you know, we're talking about 2019, but over there, that's 2021, y'all. That's what that is. So we're going to go into that. Big B, give the family the number so they can call in if they have questions or concerns.
You know, even before I do that, listen, this is something that was kind of that was placed in the chat. Interesting thoughts is this young lady was listening to her pastor this morning, and he said that it's best to wear your mask than to have to wear an oxygen mask. How about that?
Yep.
You know. So it's something for you to think about. Listen, for those of you that are not in our local area, guys, you can reach us at 866-361-0900. That's for anybody that's out of the three-state Delaware Valley area here. You can reach us again at 866-361-0900. If you're local, you can get us right here at 215. Got your pencil and paper? 215-634-8065. Again, that's 215-634-8065. That's Black Talk Media. 96.1 FM, 900 AM, WURD Radio, Black Talk.
All right. And we have Mia on the line. Mia? Hello, Mia? Oh, she hung up. Okay, she hung up.
Okay.
Yeah, but she can call back. Yeah, see if she can call back. Okay, but, you know, this is where, you know, the India virus is moving so fast. Now, I did do some research. Because I wanted to find out what was going on here. Now, this is why I was saying probably why the officials in New Jersey, right across the river, y'all, and also New York are sort of being very cautious right now, because they're showing that they believe that this is just what their numbers are rolling. These are running off like they're running off literally as we speak right now. This is how deep this is. They're looking at it and saying that they believe that 10% of the infections in New Jersey and New York is the India variant. That's what they're saying. And they're also saying that 13% of the Midwest right now is a variant of the India version. So that's why, you know, we got to really, really be very cautious here in understanding what's going on. So we got Rick on the line. Rick from Germany. Rick?
Brother man, all I want to add to your show today is tell the poor people, the middle-class people, and those of you who think you are rich, don't take off that mask just yet.
Yeah, that's right. You got it, Rick. You got it. Thank you, man. And you calling from Germany, man. Telling folks in Philadelphia, don't remove the mask. My man.
I know it's been a year. It's been a year, and people are tired. I can't breathe wearing two masks, but I sometimes go out with a double mask, a cloth mask and a clinical mask, and I'm scared to death, man.
Yeah, you just don't know, Rick. And you're saying exactly what, some people are very much like they're frustrated. They're angry. The numbers, and they're getting frustrated with the CDC. They're getting frustrated, the politicians. They're even asking, where is this coming from? Is this the politicians pushing this? Is this something coming from, businesses now saying you got to do it? Whatever the case is, we gotta watch this, folks. We gotta watch it.
Indeed,
So thank you,
indeed.
I appreciate those words, brother. Thank you so much. And we got Marie. Is that Marie back online? Is that Marie? Oh, that was me. That was Marie. We got Marie on the line.
Yes.
How you doing?
Marie.
Hi. I wanted to ask, I've been diagnosed with hyperthyroidism, and I have a couple of nodules on my thyroid. And, the tests are showing a low TSH. But I want to know, is there something that I could take that will help to bring this into balance?
Sure. And we say not to diagnose, treat, cure, prevent any disease, just food for the soul, right? So what we're talking about, remember, we were just talking about the endocrine system. The thyroid is the voltage regulator, the weight, temperature, and pressure balancer. That's like your voltage regulator, but that's like the gear shift in your car.
Yes.
So you said hyper. You said hyperthyroid? Hyper? Okay, hyper too fast, moving too fast. That means it's moving too fast. So what we got to do is balance it out. Remember, it's not about too fast, too slow. It's balance. That's what we're looking for. Right. So whenever we approach this, we go back to trace minerals, which trace minerals come from out of the ocean. Got it? That's what we look for. So that's why whenever you see those that are working in nuclear power plants and things like that, they're using things like kelp, K-E-L-P, kelp tablets, or something out of the ocean, because what it does, it protects the thyroid by blocking the radioactive isotopes. Got it? So what at the same time what you're doing, you're balancing out and giving the thyroid its support so that it can now start to regulate properly. Now, what usually happens also, here's one thing a lot of people don't recognize. Sometimes what spikes that thyroid to either go too fast or too slow has everything to deal with your adrenal glands. So you gotta relax. The adrenal glands fire off in what's the state of what's called fight or flight. That means you gotta move fast, you gotta run from this virus. So what happens? I gotta pull all the energy from those places that need it the most to put it where I need it the most, which is what? My hands or my feet, because I'm either going to fight somebody or run.
I'm going to get out.
So that's what you got to start to go back to. So not only with the sea vegetables, any sea vegetables, but you always want to also start to concentrate on female principle, relaxation, calmative, getting back into a calm state. We call that the female principle.
Yes.
So with that, relaxation, calmatives are at the same time, because you're trying to slow it down, moving too fast. Got it?
Yes.
So kelp, chlorella, 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 spirulina. You can also do any forms of bladderwrack. Nori is an N-O-R-I. You can do any of the dulse, which is the dulse seaweeds, and that could be the brown, the red, or purple, and the green. Any of those vegetables, see, they have the trace minerals. See, kelp, you can have kelp stalks that are deep in the ocean. Some of the kelp stalks can range from thousands of feet, and their whole purpose is to bind. They bind to stuff, so they pull a lot of toxicity out of the ocean, but also that's their job. That's what they're doing. The kelp stalks are just going back and forth, but that same thing is happening when it's absorbing minerals and nutrients that you need. So that's what I would recommend, okay? Usually when we say that, look for those things that, that help to balance out, but you need an assessment. I would say come on in and get an assessment first, okay?
I will. Thank you so much.
All right, have a great day.
You too.
All right. And Big B, we got to take a quick commercial. Mike is giving me the flag over here.
All right.
Yes, we are going in today. This is Dr. Paul and Bill 1L Morgan, and we are the Green Hour, and we're going in today talking about this mask. Did you whip your mask off yet? Hey, pump your brakes, y'all. Pump your brakes.
Yes, sir.
We're going to come back, and we're going to talk a little bit more. 900 AM, 96.1 FM, WURD.
African Genesis Institute, the world's largest and fastest growing youth organization of its kind, is offering $1,000 book scholarships for freshman students attending the world-renowned Howard University this fall. To apply, donate, or get more information, please visit the website at africangenesis2.org/book scholarship or call 215-247-5121. That's 215-247-5121.
Pollock Herbs and Vitamin Center, 5925 North Broad Street, open Monday through Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. This week's special, North American Herb and Spice, Purely C, Natural Vitamin C. North American Herb and Spice, Black Seed Oil, 8 ounces. North American Herb and Spice Oregano Honey. All yours, that's right, but you got to say the key word. I listen to WURD and the Dr. Paul Show or the Green Hour, and you got it. That's right. They also carry yours truly, Dr. Paul's Green Drink, Colon Cleanse, and the Eliminator, and Dr. Willard's Water. Pollock Herbs and Vitamin Center, 215-549-4372, 215-549-4372.
WURD Radio presents the following information to help you navigate the upcoming election.
This is Charles Ellison of Reality Check and City Council Live. Still feeling a bit worn out from the 2020 election? We're not done yet. 2021 is another important year when locally you have the power to pick Philadelphia's district attorney. Who will it be? The current DA and incumbent Larry Krasner or former assistant DA and challenger Carlos Vega? What we know is this is a closely watched bellwether on the future of issues such as mass incarceration, policing, and public safety. If you want to have a direct say over these issues, simply vote in the upcoming primary on May 18th. If you have your mail-in ballot, you can vote by mail starting May 11th. More information can be found at the Philadelphia City Commissioner website, phillyvotes.com. Continue to follow @onWURD and #WordOnPolitics for analysis and updates while tuning in to WURD Radio for special election coverage. Don't talk about your vote, cast it.
Stay informed and vote. For more from Charles Ellison, tune in Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. or visit wordradio.com. You're listening to The Green Hour, exclusively on WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD, Black Talk Media.
And we are back. This is Dr. Paul and Bill 1L Morgan, Green Hour, and we talking today about whipping that mask off. You gonna whip that mask off yet? Don't you dare. Don't do it yet. Don't do it
buddy.
Yet. And then you know what, Big B? The one thing that I think about, how do you know? How do you know? How do you know? And what does a business supposed to do when someone comes in their establishment? What are they? And this is what was asked to, the CDC director. They were, I'm going to give a shout out to today. Let me give a shout out to Chuck Todd, man. I was watching Chuck Todd. He was grilling her today, man. He says, well, how do you know? He said, y'all kind of did this thing backwards. He says, y'all went backwards on it. He says, why didn't you just put in place these, give the states and the local, the heads up that this is where it's coming down the pipe and that, now they can make the adjustments. Then when it becomes clear, then you can actually release the mandate. He said, because now you're putting businesses in a position where they have to sort of mandate things. They kind of say, I got to mandate who comes in my establishment and who doesn't. And that's hard. People are already having struggling problems, and they're trying to make their business work, and now you just sort of made it a little bit more tougher for even, not only for everybody by doing this. So, so we got some more callers, right?
The small business guys really got to catch up with this because they're not going to know.
I mean, they're really hitting hard, man, So, who do we have online? Is that Yusef?
Yes.
Do we still have Yusef on the line?
Yes.
Brother Yusef, how you doing, man?
Okay. You were speaking earlier about going from wearing a double mask to an oxygen tank. And I said that earlier in my conversation with other people. I said, You're not going to be satisfied until you have to wear an oxygen tank. Think that this thing is a joke. You walk around with a mask on. Now you got to wear a double mask, and now there's a threat of wearing an oxygen tank because we all know that oxygen comes from trees, and the less trees you have, the less oxygen you have. Now, it's something that I always know since the green hour's been on. You never use the use of what is called deep freezer. Okay?
What? Say that again?
The deep freezer. You know, when people put and freeze their food, their so-called food in a deep freezer.
Oh, deep freezers. Deep freezing. Deep freezing.
If you've ever seen fruit and vegetables that have been frozen and then people try to unthaw it, you ever see what it turns to? It turns into like a liquid form. It turns into a darker color. And everything in that fruit and vegetable is dead. The vitamins and the nutrients are dead. Anything frozen dies.
Yeah, that's called freezer burn. That's what it's called, freezer burn.
Freezer burn, right.
Yeah, freezer burn, that's what happens. And that's why they put the, you know, when they started, you know, doing this, they roll it out on all most products in the freezer. If you go in the frozen food section, a lot of that stuff is covered with formaldehyde. Form of formaldehyde, you know, which is a preservative. That's why, you know, like the French fries and stuff that y'all love so much, you know, the frozen French fries that, you know, they're easy just to throw in there real quick and then bake them, right? But guess what? Yeah, formaldehyde. But they also find formaldehyde in things like the drinks, too, like the natural drinks. You will find it in what was that one? I think it was Naked. You remember the Naked?
Yeah, Naked. Yes.
You know, a lot of people thought that was, you know, that stuff is good and safe, but, you know, they found formaldehyde. So, yeah, you know, Brother Yusuf, you're absolutely correct, man. And you know what? That other thing about the oxygen, you're absolutely right. You know, it's going to be soon. We're going to have to wear space helmets walking around here, you know.
It's like the War of the Worlds, man. That movie that they made back in the 1950s. We're looking at an exact duplicate of the War of the Worlds where instead of the aliens falling dead from the viruses and bacteria in the air, the human beings that have been on this earth for millions of years are now falling dead from the very same thing that they thought was only affected from people or aliens from another planet. We are of this planet, and anytime we cannot obtain an immunity to the things we've been immune to, you better get it right.
You better get it right.
Prevention is the best medicine. And if you don't want to prevent it, you're going to have a problem trying to eradicate it after you've been affected by it.
Amen.
So there you go, man. There you go. True. Thank you, brother. I appreciate your comments, brother. Thank you always for that input, Yusuf. And, you know, Big B, that's another thing that, you know, people don't think about. You know, when you are realizing that the human bodies, you know, we've been around, you know, millions of years, man, you know, and this thing has adjusted, the body has adjusted to the environment, you know, with the bacteria. You need bacteria. You need these viruses. That's what keeps the whole ecosystem moving in this sort of dance. We call it a, you know, a natural dance. And each thing has male-female principles. You know, one is push, one is pull, and the other one is balance out. So that's what's happening all throughout. But when you start to now eliminate the ability for the body to do what it naturally is supposed to do, you've now sort of hijacked the internal of the bodies, you know, and its connectivity and DNA connectivity to the planet for all these millions of years. So literally you're discounting the fact that the body has ability to correct itself. So that's why we start talking about the only greatest thing you have is your immune system. Go back to that immune system. Build that immune system. When you start to build that immune system, you can do tremendous things. That's what the body is supposed to do. You know, that's why while you're sitting here listening to this show right now, your body's fighting millions and millions and billions of bacteria and viruses and healing and all. It's doing so many things that you cannot even imagine how much this is a miracle. You know, we are a walking miracle. It's a great design. It's God's greatest performance. It's happening inside of you every single second of the day. It's amazing. So I just want to go back, B, you know, on this thing. family, we're going to say definitely stay with the mask. Okay, that's what we stand for. This you gotta keep yourself up to date. Stay on top of this. Moving forward, there are some things that you can do just to get better informed with staying on top of this thing. Look at the data. Big B, go to our top ENCOVE numbers for.
Okay, you got it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it says 4 minutes ago, but I'm thinking that we are a little bit into it by now because I did this when we first started the show. But anyway, as of about 30 minutes ago, Dr. Paul, our numbers.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Mm-hmm. What's happening is that, hold on a second. We've got something that's coming up someplace that I've got to, hold on a second. Let me dial this down because we don't need to hear that, okay? That's one of those things that's kind of crazy. All right, there we go. Now, all right, now here we go. All right, guys, from about 30 minutes ago, these are our numbers from our favorite website. That's encode2019.live. That's encode2019.live, okay? Now, we're talking total confirmed cases of the coronavirus of 163,593,870. That's total confirmed, okay? Total critical cases at 102,465. Total deceased, 3,390,396. Total active, guys, 20,333,275. Total recovered, Big Mike. Bam, I love it. 143,176,358. Great mental health time, Dr. Paul. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Over here, buddy.
Yes, sir, man.
Here.
Yes,
Before
sir.
we get done, man, you know what? I gave a shout out yesterday. I said, you know what? This is a shout out to all y'all that are listening. You call me all the time and let, either through email, dropping a text or something, and you always or through the family tree, because you the family tree. We're getting a lot of testimonies through the family tree, man.
Yeah, buddy. Yes, sir.
I tell you, y'all got to tune in on Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. We get in there, we start playing our samba music and
just having a good time.
We having a good time, y'all. Let me tell you, it's hilarious, but it's also definitely
informational. Yes, very serious.
Definitely serious at the same time. So, all for the family. Join us with that. Just dial into www.drpaulers.com. Put your email and your name and email, and we'll send you a private invitation for that. So, Big B, thanks for the numbers there, buddy.
Yeah, man, always.
I would say also, man, what else is going on, not only with the pandemic situation, but, we had a gas shortage this week, that all of a sudden these hackers hit the gas line and then knocked everything out. And then it's called ransom software.
Yeah, man. It just got downright so crazy, Dr. Paul.
And, it's still, the reason why we're probably not experiencing as much, I hear, this is what I was explained to me, that, the rest of what was in the pipeline came north. That's why we weren't experiencing as much.
Yes.
But I believe there's a shortage now in D.C., right?
Yes.
There's one in D.C. Read that article.
Slowly coming. So Washington, D.C., guys, gas shortage, all right? Here we go. Now, let me go down. So when we're talking about people going to what we call now panic buying, 4 out of 5 gas stations in the nation's capital were still without fuel on Saturday. But the shortage is starting to ease as consumers tap the brakes on panic buying, and Colonial Pipeline gets its network back online. All right. So 79% of gas stations in Washington, D.C. were empty as of Saturday morning.
How many was that?
79%, buddy.
Wow.
Do you hear me? 79% were empty as of Saturday morning. That was yesterday. And get this, but in nearby Virginia, we're only looking at 37% of gas stations were without fuel. While 35% of gas stations were empty in Maryland. So they're real close. They're like a 3-state area like we are, right? So the situation in the district is starting to improve as 80% of gas stations had no fuel on Friday. But now, long lines at the gas stations from Texas to New Jersey showed Americans panic buying fuel this past week, which partly exacerbated the supply shortage. Okay. Now, President Biden urged Americans to only take what they need as Colonial Pipeline works to resolve their issues. And now, I know seeing lines at the pump or gas station with no gas can be extremely stressful, but this is a temporary, listen guys, this is what the president is saying, it's a temporary situation. Do not get more gas than you need in the next few days. So the panic buying shows some signs of slowing down as demand for gas was down 12.6% on Friday from the week before because everyone is, let's put it like this, they're just trying to do what they call make sure I take care of myself.
Oh yeah, and you see, here were people online. Did you see people online? They were filling up like plastic bags full of gas.
Yeah, just what I was getting ready to say. I saw a lady with plastic bag, man. Had the nerve to tie it up and put it in her trunk. I said, Jesus. I said, no, Lord, don't do that. You're gonna die, lady.
Unbelievable.
That was crazy.
It was crazy what I saw there. And then now B, this is also another problem. People, they're fighting in line. People are starting to, there was one situation where when the person got out, they poured about 4 or 5 of the, the 5-gallon ones. Yeah. Man, people, they almost stared her out of the line, man. It's like, what are you doing? She's going in. So now people are hoarding. Absolutely.
Yes. Going back the same way as toilet paper when this first began.
You didn't find out or hear about how this came about. This pipeline goes from all the way from Texas all the way up to like New Jersey, New York.
New Jersey. Yep.
This pipeline, was held at what's called ransom software. People don't know what ransom software is. Ransom software is something that can happen right on your computer, and it's happening to a lot of people. And it's really where you have hackers that get into your computer and they literally freeze your computer, make it look all gibberish. Everything is like code.
Yes.
And next they'll say that the only way you're going to get the code to clear this up if you pay up.
You gotta pay.
You gotta pay big. So the government actually paid the ransom. I'm like, are you kidding me? I remember when we were doing, because I used to do the whole IT thing.
Yeah.
Had a little computer company and everything. And I remember the one rule of thumb was never pay the ransom because never guaranteed that you're going to get code and that it will actually be freed up.
Yep.
So what does this say? Because now if you pay the ransom, does this now encourage other hackers to say,
well, okay.
And now they paid what, $5 million to open up the line? I think it was $5 million.
Yep.
And something like that to open up this line now. Now, what does that give incentive? Does this give
to
now
other people?
The hackers like, hey, you got $5 million? Oh man,
okay.
This is scary, man. Because this can be other lines of thing. Now it's gas, but what happens to the other things? They tapped their water line about 3 months. Remember we announced on how they tapped the water.
Yep.
They actually were starting to now convert it to now where it started to dump more sodium lauryl sulfate, which is lye, into the water.
Yep.
This was
and the other part too is electricity, Dr. Paul.
And
folks don't understand everything
about the grid. The grid we've talked about all this stuff for like the last 5 or 6 years.
Yes. Yes.
And the grid is the number one thing. If you don't have power, everything is shut down.
Yes,
you got it?
Yes,
so we got to protect the grid from solar flares, which are solar flares can come off. They call X-class gamma radiation, can disrupt satellites and things like that. And also we have those that are man-made, which come from EMFs, electromagnetic fields, or EM pulse, through weaponry and things like that. It's like the effect without the devastation of a nuclear explosion or something like that. You can EM pulse, which actually knocks out all of electronic transmissions and everything. So with all this going on, we got a lot going on in this world right now. and with this being said, we did a thing on the family tree. I say everyone, y'all tune in to this one. We did a show that I talked about being prepared. Just with the gas shortage and things. What are you look around your house?
Are you prepared? Are you prepared
for something like this? Like the lights go out, if something has like there, or look around, in your house. You say if something were to shut down, would I have enough to eat for, a couple weeks?
Yeah.
Month? How long could I survive?
How can I survive?
Of water.
Yes.
And we started looking at different things. We had a great discussion at the family tree. If you want to go back and maybe Big B, you can repost that. It's on our lines with Facebook, and we did a whole expression of that class. It was about a 2-hour class, y'all.
Yes, sure was.
We just went in. I gave a lot of resources, places that you can do. And then I bought all my stuff. I bought all my stuff.
He sure did, guys. He bought all of his stuff.
I bought my walkie-talkies. I bought everything out, y'all. Showed all the stuff that you can do. Better be, what do they say? Rather to have it and not need it than need it and not need it. Got it?
That's right. I know that's right.
Uncertain times, just be prepared, family. That's all I'm saying. Just always be prepared for any type of activity that's going on, because things are very, very unstable in a lot of ways. All right, family? All right, we got some callers on the line. I'm going to go to a couple of callers here. Is that Margaret on the line? Margaret?
Hi, Dr. Paul.
Hi, Margaret. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Good.
I just wanted to thank you for all you guys do. I'm on the family tree on Wednesdays. You always see me dancing.
Yes.
I know we don't have much time on your show, so I only had like a couple questions. And again, thank you both for all that you guys do. Love you guys much. So I've been on the Eliminator and the colon cleanse. So I bought the whole kit, including the green drink. So I'm almost done with the colon cleanse.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is, does the parasites, like in your body, increase your appetite?
Well, remember, once you start to do the colon cleanse, you're getting out the debris and things that have been blocking the system from being able to assimilate. So now when those avenues are wide open, your body said, wait a minute, it's time to eat.
Yes.
Now it start assimilating. That's when your body starts to assimilate now. So now you have no blockage. Now you start to move this stuff, the sludge out of the system. Now the body can start to recede. So it sends up that signal. You remember that signal that we talked about last week called the leptins? You remember the leptin signal? Yep. Lets the body know that, it's time to eat. It's time to eat. So yes, when you start to do that, it starts to bring the body back into a balance dealing with gut and mind. Gut and mind. And that's what one of the advantages of doing a colon cleanse. But now once you finish the colon cleanse, the goal is to, after you cleanse, you must sweep. Got it? So that's what the parasite formula does.
Because I've only got three of the colon cleanse capsules left, so I'll be starting the Eliminator this week. So I'm looking forward to that part of the process.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much.
You got it. All right.
All right, Margaret. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and I only have one more other quick question.
Okay. Sure, go ahead.
Real quick.
When it comes to getting our vitamin D and sunshine, is there anything that we need to do that's natural to protect us from the UV rays of the sun?
Sure. The protective things we use would be those herbs that deal with derma. Anything that deals with derma that can be dealing with, that would be the aloe vera gel. We talk about the aloe vera gel. Helps with the skin protection. We also, what we say, not to diagnose, treat, cure, prevent any disease, just food for the soul. Anything that absorbs that sunshine in its natural way, which would be sunflowers, things like that. Sunflower seeds, things like that. Sunflowers tend to have that resistance to heat, so it's good for the skin, derma. So those would be the things that I recommend. Also, coconut oil. you know, coconut oil, things like that. You know, so all of those are good for the skin, and they help with UV radiation, things like that.
Exactly.
But also at the same time feeds the skin at the same time. Okay?
Thank you
so much. All right.
All right.
Appreciate you. All right. We got Spread Love on the line. Spread love.
God bless Dr. Paul. How are you, sir?
All right. My brother, how you doing?
Give God the glory. And
yes.
God bless our brother Big Bill. I pray you're making out well.
Yes, sir.
Give thanks for the family and everyone. And God bless our brother Mike Moore on the boards.
Yes,
you know, I always say, God bless everyone suffering, everyone working to make it better. All those incarcerated, especially incarcerated falsely, free Mumia. And I'll keep it brief, Dr. Paul, because I know we're up against the time constraint.
Okay.
Thank you. What I wanted to ask was two things. The first thing you can either address on another show, or if it's available on your website, or if you want to put it on the website. The hair tonic you gave yesterday in regards to balding, the proper recipe, meaning ingredients and measurements and way to prepare. If you want to deal with that either on the website or a later time, you could do that as well. If you could deal with this today or on another show, the efforts of the vaccinations going on in Cuba and how that approach is being spread abroad across the globe, particularly in countries in Africa. And I'm going to hang up so y'all can do your thing.
Okay, thank you, Fred Love. I appreciate you, man.
More love.
And definitely, those are heavy hitter topics right there. Their whole entire shows themselves right there. You know, well, the one right there with the hair tonic, we've given that out several times. Spread Love with you know, we've not only done it on this show, but we also did it on Family Tree and several where we've noticed it, and we've given that breakdown. The measurement is always based on the coverage for the space that you're doing on the scalp. Someone, you know, may have just a patch in their head, whereas some people have the whole coverage of that. And that's something that we can't determine that. But the base of what you're doing should be, you know, and this is not to diagnose, treat, cure, prevent disease, just food for the soul. We talked about the coconut oil, the castor oil, got it, the castor oil, the tea tree, and also the cayenne pepper, you know, things like that. And that's what was used as the cayenne was the adjutant. That was the actual one to dilate. Because you remember when cayenne pepper hits the system, it dilates. It's almost like it turns into nitric oxide. So anywhere in the body it hits, boom, opens up, allows those good nutrients to get in, and starts to now regenerate with circulation, but also very much with nutrients, and then that allows the melanin to get to the scalp, so it starts to now regenerate the scalp. So that was one thing, but you really got to unpack that with a whole nother conversation, because a lot of people that are having baldness may be from things like traction alopecia, you know, braids on too tight, or they may have other things, because we look at the scalp also as you can tell someone has high blood pressure or, you know, deficiencies in their organs from their hair.
Wow, that's deep.
Yeah, that's a whole nother way we look at the body. That's an ancient concept of recognizing and assessing when a person is well. So we can go into those, and definitely, you know, that is already posted in some of our previous shows that we did. Now, vaccination in Cuba. Just like with so many other countries, we try to give, you know, the update. You can't do everyone. That's why we push everyone to places like the ncove2019.live website. That's the one that has all of the things that you need to give you a breakdown of where you are and your family is, where you can actually get that information, okay? But we definitely don't have that much time, because Mike Moore just gave me the
hook, didn't he?
He just gave me the hook. Yes, he did. Mike Moore, you something else, man.
It was about that time.
You know, Dr.
He
Paul, if I
pulled
may.
the chair out front. He coming in like the Sandman.
I know,
with the
that's
chair.
right. You know, if I may, Dr. Paul, let me lead folks to either your website or to the Dr. Paul's Health Network or the Men's Gathering. You will find all the videos that Dr. Paul is talking about, and also along with it, that is as far as the family tree is concerned. Now, along with that, as you take a look at it, if you want to get the check from that whole thing. Guess what? We send that out to you as well. You just send an email to meccavideo@gmail.com. You get a copy of all the things that we talked about, as much as some of the other things that were asked, and sometimes we didn't get a chance to cover, but at least the information is there for you.
Yeah, give it to him one more time, Big B. That's your email address.
That's the email address.
It's only from the family tree that we have.
From the family tree, correct. And that's meccavideo@gmail.com.
Spell it for him. Spell it out for him.
That's MECCAVIDEO@gmail.com. That allows you to get the chat from the family tree each and every week, okay?
All right, y'all. And hey, we got to close out. Time flies. It seems like this hour.
The hook is on your foot. I can see it right now.
All right, family. Listen, if you want to contact me, this is Dr. Paul. You can call me at 1-877-377-2854. That's 1-877-377-2854. You can also, at any time, if you want to, we are still doing that RM3A full analysis.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, the RM3A full analysis is still going on. Ask for your 10% discount. Ask for that prepay offer that we're actually offering. You can also go to my website, www.drpaulherbs.com. Subscribe for Family Tree Wednesday night and join us. I want to give a shout out and thank you to our producers, Michael Ledbetter, Laura Lomax, and our president CEO, Sarah Lomax Reese, the entire Lomax family for providing this platform. Hey, Miss Beverly Lomax, we love you now.
Yes.
So I want to thank Mike Moore over there. Mike Moore holding it down.
As always.
All right, and Bill 1L Morgan, thank you, buddy. I appreciate you, man.
Always, man.
Hey, this was good talk today, because folks have been putting off. They say, what do I do? Do I do this, do that? Hey, family, think twice, all right? And err on the line of caution, all right? But also be encouraged, because remember, if you're breathing,
I got a shot.
You got a shot.
God bless you.
Anthony Wright was wrongfully convicted of murder after he spent over 2 decades in prison. DNA exonerated him. In 2016, Carlos Vega re-prosecuted him anyway.
I was in prison, convicted of a crime that I didn't commit. Every single person that was involved was corrupt. I think about Carlos Vega, I think about the devil, I think about racism.
Vote now. Vote Krasner for DA. Paid for by Lawrence Krasner for District Attorney.
Tune in to Save Space with Sincerely Sarita, Monday.